Hi, welcome to the Kindness Advantage podcast. I'm your host, Cindy Rowe, and in 10 minutes or less, we are going to explore ways to bring kindness into every corner of your life, personally and professionally. Today's episode, we're talking about something you might not immediately connect with kindness, and that is innovation and creativity. Yes, kindness is the secret ingredient to bigger, bolder ideas and breakthrough thinking. So, we're going to talk about this a little bit, like why kindness creates psychological safety, which is a fuel for innovation, and some real examples of kindness driven leadership that boost creativity. So, I hope you are ready for this fun episode. Now, some of you know that my background is in marketing. I actually run a marketing company. And when you are allowed to have this space for creativity, that is when things start moving. And when you have that space for innovation and creativity, just think about how much faster you can go forward. See, kindness is like a fertile ground for your ideas. Innovation can't thrive in fear. When people worry about being judged or criticized or dismissed, they actually will shut off, shut down. They play it safe, right? And you don't want those people on your team, right? I mean, at the end of the day, think about it. You want somebody that is willing to take a little bit of risk, that wants to, push the borders a little bit, get out of the box, right? That is the team member that works best. This is where psychological safety comes in. Now, Harvard Business School professor Amy Edmondson describes psychological safety as a belief that one will not be punished or humiliated for speaking up with ideas, questions, concerns, or mistakes. And guess what fosters that belief? If you said kindness, you're right, of course. When leaders lead with empathy, listen without judgment, and genuinely value input, they create a space where team members feel comfortable sharing ideas, the big, crazy, wild ones, and asking the question, what if? And taking smart risks. Now, a Google study called Project Aristotle, you may have heard of this, examined that what made the highest performing team so successful. And the number one factor was psychological safety. Now, it wasn't about talent, resources, or even their leadership style. It was about feeling safe to speak up. So I found a couple of case studies about kindness in action that I would love to share with you so that you get the better understanding that I'm just not pulling this out of my rear, right? And focusing on, how awesome marketing people are, the creatives. I'm just teasing. So Pixar has a famous practice called the brain trust. Maybe you've heard of it because I've read articles about this, but it's a meeting where directors present their roughest ideas and receive candid feedback. The key? The feedback must be kind, constructive, and rooted in helping the storyteller succeed, not tearing them down. This culture of respect and kindness has fueled some of the most amazing Pixar films like Toy Story, Finding Nemo, and recently Inside Out. Now, Microsoft, when Nadella became the CEO, he shifted Microsoft's culture from know it all to learn it all. He emphasized empathy, encouraged listening, and valued diverse voices. Within just a few years, Microsoft went from being seen as stagnant to one of the most innovative tech companies in the world. And I say this all the time. We are so fortunate in the cultures of our organizations now that there are so many different types of cultures. And when people can bring their values and the way, they view things to the table, innovation and creativity thrives. You are going to go further faster when you get to hear about these views from all the different cultural backgrounds. The other case study I found, the last one, was WD-40. And, if you read any leadership publications or articles, you might have heard about this, but CEO Gary Rich is known for leading with kindness and trust. They call mistakes learning moments instead of failures. Now, this approach empowers employees to take risks without fear, and that drives consistent innovation in a 60-year-old brand. That's incredible. So there is science behind all of this, right? When kindness is present in the workplace, our brains release oxytocin. That's the connection hormone. Oxytocin helps us reduce stress. It increases feelings of trust and opens the door to collaboration. And collaboration is the spark that ignites what? Creativity. When we feel safe with each other, we're more likely to share half-baked ideas, the ones that haven't fully come out yet. You're kind of working them through. And those are often the seeds that grow into really cool, groundbreaking solutions. So kindness in leadership doesn't mean avoiding tough conversations. And if you followed me along long enough, you've heard me say that, right? It's courage, right? Kindness in leadership means delivering feedback in a way that's respectful, specific, and aimed to helping someone improve. It means listening, like really listening to someone's perspective, even if it's different than your own. It means asking, how can we make this work? Instead of, that won't work. This kind of communication makes people feel heard, valued, and part of something bigger, which actually makes them feel more invested in creating something great. So, 3 ways to foster innovation through kindness. Are you ready? You might want to grab a pen and paper. Or if you're listening, on your phone, you might want to open up your notes app. Number 1, invite ideas without judgment. Make brainstorming sessions a no bad idea zone and let quantities lead quality, right? And I like getting a big poster board or, the big ass sticky notepads, right? That you can put on the wall and just start writing ideas, with a marker and just get as many things out, just brain dump it all. That really helps. Number 2, recognize contributions publicly. Thank people for sharing their thoughts, even if the idea isn't implemented. This recognition actually fuels future participation. And people love when they feel heard, right? And the last one, respond with curiosity, not criticism. Maybe you need to bite your tongue sometimes. Maybe the idea is completely off the wall. Maybe there is no way in hell you can afford to do this kind of idea. But before you start to criticize or to shove it down their face, instead of saying that won't work, try saying, tell me more about how you see this working, right? Because here's the truth. Kindness isn't a soft leadership skill. It's a strategic driver of innovation. It creates trust, safety, and openness, people need to take creative risks. And the companies that understand this, well, they're not just ahead of the curve, they're actually creating it. So if you want more creativity on your team, maybe you want to start with kindness. I know it seems pretty much off the wall, but give it a try. What do you have to lose, right? It's the most human, powerful, and yes, cost effective innovation tool you've got and probably haven't even tried yet. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of The Kindness Advantage. I hope you found this fun, right? Because we should be having more fun at work. And, if you found this of any value, I would love a 5-star review. I would love a 5-star rating. I would love if you would just pass along this episode or my podcast to somebody on your team or in your network. That is the biggest kind act you can do for me because I am on a mission to get my message of kindness in the world, right, to as many people I can in the world. So here is your challenge for the week. Find one opportunity to respond to an idea with curiosity and encouragement, right? That is where the simple kindness leads. Until next time, I want you to stay kind. I want you to stay creative. And remember that together we create waves of change through kindness.